Hello there everyone, and welcome to my second tutorial for YouTube. Today we're going to be looking at how to set up the Wilco Embraer 170 and 190 series. As you can see, today we are parked up at Glasgow. We're at stand 2, flying the Wilco Embraer 170. Currently we are on Golf Lima Charlie Yankee Delta, a Embraer 170
Wake up.
based down at London City. So this is the external view that you can get. We're currently also using Orbix Global and Orbix Scotland combined, and now we will proceed to go into the cockpit and to see how we can set up the FMS. So here we go. One thing I have to say I love about the Wilco product is the design they have put on the interior. The interior is absolutely fantastic, very frame rate friendly, very realistic, and as you can see, very detailed. You have your interior here, you've got all the main seating. Just behind me is the first class seating and everything. Then if you look above, you have your overhead cargo bins and so forth, and you can also move to the rear or the front of the galley. So a great aircraft in terms of what you're able to do on the inside. Fantastic. Here we are, stand 2 in the Wilco Embraer 170. It says down there at the bottom that we're in the 190, but the reality is we are in the 170. So this is our cockpit. After I did my last tutorial, a few of you said the frames weren't too good, which is fair enough, because what I was using wasn't was a hat switch on my joystick, which to be honest with you wasn't too realistic. Anyway, we'll go straight ahead and I'll show you how to set up the aircraft from cold and dark. So what we'll start off with, we'll look up to our overhead panel, and what we'll do is we'll turn battery 1 and 2 on. So we'll switch battery 1 on first, and battery 2. Next, we'll switch our nav lights on to indicate that we are in the cockpit. Fasten seatbelt and smoking sign on. Now if we look to our ECAM, our upper ECAM, we can see these warn messages. We'll just cross them off. Okay, so if we look here at our ECAM there, we see we're getting these faults and so forth, which should automatically correct themselves once we finish our setup. It's just basically telling us what we need to do and a few other things. So what we'll do is we'll just look up to our overhead panel again, and we'll start up our APU to generate some power. So all we simply do is we switch our APU on, and then we switch the start switch on. And as you can see on the ECAM, the APU is rising gradually. Once it's at 100%, it'll transfer power across to our systems, and we'll have full systems up and running. That's it at 100%. And that's it transferred power across to our other displays, such as our two FMSs, our nav displays left and right, and our standby display. What we'll do now is we'll move back up to the overhead again, and we'll stick the lead APU on. We'll only have this on whilst we're on the ground. Next we'll switch our emergency lights to armed. Okay, next we are going to start programming a flight from Glasgow to London City using our FMSs. So we'll zoom into our FMS. So when you first load up the aircraft, the Wilco Embraer series, it'll take you as default to your radio page. What we'll do, we'll move across to our nav page, and you'll be presented with this no present position sign. To change this, all you do is go to position sensors, you have a GPS, you then go to position init, and you load that position. It'll come up as loaded, and you proceed to your flight plan page, where your origin is now Echo Golf Papa Foxtrot. Then select Echo Golf, Lima, Charlie, London City. And now we begin programming our route. So our destination is London City. We then go back to our nav page, go to departure. We'll select runway 23. We'll select a Dean Cross departure, which will be the Dean Cross 6 Alpha, and we'll insert it into our flight plan. Now, as you can see, it's loaded our SID into the flight plan. We'll press next. And after Dean Cross, we'll be going on the uniform November 615 airway. And normally people would put a dash in for the airway, but in the Wilco you press full stop, and then you we'll enter Honolulu, Hotel Oscar November. We'll enter that, and as you can see, it's entered our airway. Press next, and after Honolulu, we're going to go on the uniform Lima 10 airway, and from there we're going to go to, I think it's Daventry, Delta Tango Yankee. And there we go. Okay, that's that done. Next we'll enter our star. So what we'll do is we'll go back to the nav page, we'll go to arrival. We select our runway, which in this case will be runway 27. We'll select ILS 27. We'll select it, we'll leave the transitions because we don't really need one. And we'll select our star. We'll be on the Spear 1 mic star. And this is it all configured. Our runway 27, approach will be ILS. Our star will be the Spear 2 hole. Oh, I've entered the wrong star. There we go. Should be the Spear 2 mic I should have entered. Spear 1 mic, sorry. Sorry about that. So our stars are Spear 1 mic star, our approach is ILS, runway 27, and the airport is Echo Golf Lima Charlie London City. We'll then proceed to press insert. And now that we've finished this, we will press activate. And that is our flight plan completely done. Next, we will clear a discontinuity. As you can see here, between our arrival into City and our actual flight plan down to Daventry, there's this discontinuity. Many people have tried pressing delete and then it has wiped the whole flight plan out. All we simply do is press delete and we press via and to. This deletes the discontinuity and will continue all the way along with our flight plan until our top of descent. Next we go back to our nav page. We select, we go to our perf page this time. Go to our perf. First of all, we'll select our takeoff. And the wind, we're just going to select as 230 degrees. And we're going to select 15 knots. And that's ultimately most of the information done. We then go next, it's saying our headwind, our crosswind, our density, altitude. Next go to our V1 speed, we'll select V1 as 132. Select our V rotate as 136. And we'll select our V2 as 158. That's that done. This is telling us that our climb page is not initialized. Go back to our perf, and we'll go to our init page. We'll select our climb, which for this flight will be flight level 270. And then all we do is press our next page. We'll enter our fuel reserve, which will be 200 kilograms. Next page. This is also what you can choose with regards to your fuel, your transition altitude, cruise winds, and your zero fuel weight. Transition altitude will select as 6,000 feet. We'll select our cruise winds at 030.45. Zero fuel weight will select as 1,000. And now it tells us that our cruise and ceiling altitude is active, however it's still not initialized, but it is active. That is ultimately most of our flight plan done. We can select our position in it, we can select patterns, and we can also check the maintenance log, but at the moment we don't really need to focus on that. Go back to our flight plan page. If we go to now our radio page and select Unicom, which will be 122.80, to that into the active frequency, and our squawk, which will be just default for now, IFR 22.00. We enter that, and that's that ultimately done. If you press your next, you can enter the ADF for your arrival airport if you so want to, and your nav 1, nav 2 frequencies, and you've got your secondary comms. Next what we'll do is we'll move on to our navigation display and see what we can get from the navigation display. For the purpose of showing you how to work the navigation display, I've just enlarged this here. So this is our navigation display, which is next to our primary flight display. We go to map, and if we select our waypoint ident, this shows us our waypoints along for our SID, which shows us our turn, our climb, and everything else. If we then go to our vertical profile, this will show us once we've departed where we should be, and it will follow the FPA and VNAV according to our current position. So go to our TCAS, select range, TCAS again, select ABS, and that should be set. Next, for our weather, we can select our weather radar on if we so wish, or we can select it to standby, or we can select it to turbo. Whichever one you want, completely up to you, but for now I'm going to leave mine as off. Next, this gives us our TCAS information, which has shown us our TCAS is off. I'm still not too sure as to how you get the TCAS on. Perhaps someone can enlighten me. If they could, that would be absolutely fantastic, thank you. What we'll do is we'll just turn that off. We'll now go to our plan. This is showing us our flight plan. Now by using the key on your mouse to scroll up and down, you can change the range. So by scrolling in, I can change range to 2.5. By scrolling out, I can change it to 250 to 500. Okay, next if we go to our systems page, you can see that our front door is open, our cargo door is open, rear cargo is open, and our rear cabin door is open as well. All systems are good. We'll now move back to the map. And now I will close this display off. Next what we want to do, we want to set up a bit of information for our PFD so it can actually follow something. So what we will actually do, here, and you should be able to see this from the right hand display. Now then, if you watch our right hand display here, if you look at the altitude, if you look at the speed, I'm just going to adjust these. So we're going to enter our temporary altitude, which will be 6,000 feet for now. 6,000 feet, as you can see, that's set. We then set our speed, which we'll just continue with 220 knots after departure. And that's the speed and alt set. Next, what we want to do is we want to move back along to our left display. And now what we're going to do is we're going to give the aircraft the track to follow. So what we do is we go across to our FMS and select FMS. This immediately changes this to FMS1, tells us how many miles away we are from that waypoint and what our distance is. Next we will select nav, and next we will also select VNav. We select our flight directors. Once we've selected our flight directors, they will pop up here on our screen saying track and FPA. We'll then select our nav switch, which will engage LNAV, and we'll select FPA, which will then engage our VNav. So that is essentially the two done. You can engage your auto throttle. You can engage auto throttle if you so wish, but it just depends. Some do set it for the departure, but it's up to you really. That's the basic idea of getting the aircraft set up. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. I'm going to put a few more choices in the chat box. If you want me to do anything specific, please say so, anything at all, and we'll get that sorted for you. Thanks for watching, hope you have a great day, and we'll speak to you next time. Thank you very much, bye bye.